footy ride. Here's footy ride.
Welcome to the 2025 Hills Football League season. Jeff Pistola here with you with the call with the Wild team as we get set to for what's going to be an exciting new competition, new season up here in the Hills Football League. And without further ado, new season, new panel members. So just introduce them. No introduction needed to this man, well known in Hills Football League circles, past male medalist, North Adelaide, Nord, Sturt footballer, all round good guy, so he tells me. Manny Thomas, welcome aboard.
Thank you, Jeffrey. Yeah, welcome. Very welcome to be here. Thank you so much, and happy Sunday. Hey, let's get into it.
Yeah,
Hills footy.
Glad to have you here. I know it's fresh from church. Good on you, mate. Now, also as always, the man, a very astute man, the man who brings voice of reason, Benny Goldfinch. Good to see you, Benny.
Pistol's great to be here. Prime time. Good to see you.
Oh, good on you, Benny.
And lovely looking headgear that you've got there.
Yes, we'll get to that.
Fantastic. And of course, the man, he's had a very big summer.
Huge.
Doesn't rest. He's a man for all seasons with his stats that matter. Great to have him back on board once again as the, everyone's favourite, Jayden J. Hill. Jayden, how are you?
Pistol, thank you very much. Yeah, great to be here. Can't wait to get stuck into it and can't believe our footy is just about upon us. So,
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Have you got a stat for us, Jayden, to get us underway?
Well, yeah, if you want to stat.
Yeah, give us one.
Off the cuff. Well, in 2023, 8,032 points scored in total by the top 5 teams.
Yeah.
Right, top 5 teams from the minor round. But there's only 6,731 scored in 2024. So 1,301 difference there. So the total points scored aggregate for the top 5 teams. So I can't wait to talk with Tom.
Yeah, you're going to go one-on-one with Tomo.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, he's in form already.
He's just
Hopefully
not
you better
fit, he's
put
just not
summer
fit
too,
for six.
Tomo, because I'll tell you, just like the old one-on-one training drills, you and Jade, with the stats here, mate.
I'm open for it. We're talking physically or we're talking statistically? We can go through some stats though. Now, what I would look forward to the most actually the round one is the Radler Mount Barker game. I think that is going to be an absolute cracker. Radler have improved, with Trent and Jimmy Richards, my love child down there at Radler. His mum wouldn't agree to that.
And bearing in mind from their last meeting, which was the elimination final, when the Roos stitched them up by 10 goals.
Yeah.
Like, you're ready to go, don't get beaten by 10 goals in a final or beaten any time.
And you're able to take any loss to Mount Barker very personally.
They do. They've had a great rivalry since
I think Manny Down's been in America too, so he's...
Is that right?
Recruiting binge
It's
maybe?
a bit of Clarko's type stuff, and just sussing out the latest in training techniques. Hey, listen, we're looking forward not only to football coming up, but an exciting season. It's a very exciting and the start of a new era. As we know, at the end of 24, there was a bit of a change in the streaming, where it was going to come from, and sort of led us a bit in limbo. But through the fantastic support and sponsorship of a few generous people in the Adelaide Hills area who love their footy, we've been able to continue, and we must say thank you very much for that. I think we're going to be covering that a bit later on.
Yep. We'll get to know them, and a few more sponsors as well are coming on board as well, which is driven by the community this year, which is great.
But at the time, we were very much humbled by the support we got on social media and cards and letters, etc. That everyone loves to call a while. So we're happy to say we'll be back. Also the same old team, but also the addition of the great man, Manny Thomas, did some great work there, grand final day. We got cards and letters about that, I tell you.
Oh, popular demand.
And of course, behind the camera right now.
Yes, I was just going to mention. The production crew of James and Tommy have held up their hands and coming on with us again, and we can guarantee that this year streaming that we've got in mind will be probably one of the best coverage of SA community football.
2 camera systems,
2 cameras, etc. Extra mics, extra personality. So we're looking for a big season here of Hills football coming up.
We'll be back shortly with some special guests.
Here's footy ride. Here's footy ride.
One thing I love about AHLG is we're one big family here. We're not just a number. Everyone's always invested in each other's personal lives and always up for a good old chat. We do a fair bit of a range of landscaping here. Structural stuff like your stone walls, excavated stone walls, paving, concreting, fair bit of softscapes with your lawn, steel edge, mature tree planting, natives, all that kind of stuff. My favourite would be from start to finish projects, so getting in and digging out to a full backyard with lawn, steel edging, softscapes, all that kind of stuff.
Here's footy right. Here's footy right.
Back here on HFL Call the Wild pre-season, and a good season's brewing. And how's this? We'll get on this a bit later, but own beer has been specially brewed for the most effective player. So that'll be a welcome addition. I know we encourage responsible drinking. It's all about health, but fantastic work here. So most effective player, but also continuing on, we will be having the snag of the day, which became a much valued prize last year. All the players trying to outdo each other to win that special voucher from Lowe's Meat Co. And without further ado, we can welcome the man who's actually made that possible and also come on board as a major overall sponsor of the Call to Wild this year in Daniel Lowe. Daniel, welcome again to see you. Good to see you, mate.
Great to be here.
I tell you what, why wouldn't you be enjoying footy? You can have a beer and a chop afterwards.
I just looked at that before. Absolutely fantastic. I think they go hand in glove, don't they, with their nice meat voucher and a beer.
They do.
Celebrate a Saturday win. It's fantastic.
Yeah. No, thank you, mate. It was an innovation we brought in last year, and thank you to your company and yourself for the support. And as I said, it just caught on, and the players just really loved it, especially when our man used to take us through it after the game. Jay, you just see him lining up to see who'd be the lucky one to get the voucher. So
well, it's the highlight of the day, isn't it? Really, with the selection of the snag of the day. And
what makes a good snag?
Oh well, I think it's made with love.
Made with love.
Yeah.
Lowe's love.
The team back in the shop, they love to generate their own recipes and have a crack and you know, look, it's a family-owned, operated business, and the customers that we get through there are absolutely fantastic. They even tell us what they want in terms of the snags. We make them for them, so it's just as easy. Yeah, absolutely. So any type of recommendation that comes our way, we certainly put our hearing ears on.
Now
so
back in the
maybe it could be a Call the Wild beer
snag.
Never know.
I know back in the day. Well, funny enough, they did sport the colours that you do now at Blackwood Football Club, but the old Heathwood Allgate United Football Club are red and green. And like at various functions, they had the red and the green sausages, which at the time looked a little bit. But you'd be able to organise that. You
Absolutely.
Do colour-coded ones.
Colour-coded ones. Yeah, they're not as popular because as you look at a red snag and go, ugh, what does that look like?
A green one would be worse.
Well, it would be green, yes, yeah. But no, it's we're very, very happy and pleased to be a part of the Call of the Wild again in 2025.
Very much appreciate community football being supported by good community businesses like yourself.
For sure.
Now, getting on to your other thing, association with footy, of course, which I mentioned before, the Blackwood Football Club, of course, reserves coach over there.
We are, into my sixth season, I think, there now as the big.
I did see some good work by our man Benny Goldfinch with HFL Chat a couple of weeks ago. Went out with Michael Hanby out there to a bit of a pre-season session. So how's it looking over there at Windy Hill?
We're quietly excited.
Quietly excited.
With how things are going.
For really going off about it. You're quietly excited.
Look, we're not putting a ceiling on where we're heading this year because is that the cliche sort of response? No, like generally that's what it's all about. We've got some really good Blackwood players come back to our football club. Can
you drop any names for us? And it's exclusive.
Ryan Williams has come back to a football club after being down the hill at Kenilworth. Todd Lewis has come back after playing some football elsewhere as well. Those two are just ones that have come to our head, and we've got some juniors coming back playing, which is phenomenal. Because as we all know, that's how your footy clubs grow. You keep your kids and interested in football, and 8 or 9 under-18s from previous years have stuck around, and look, they're going to have a huge impact come senior footy. So that just creates good culture within our football club, and as I mentioned, quietly excited about that. haven't put a ceiling on where we want to aim, but internally we've got some goals to tick off, and so yeah, we're quietly confident we'll tick those off quite well this year.
Through circumstances not of their own making, Blackwood have a bit of a turnover of senior coaches over the last few years. Has it been hard as an assistant and the reserves, a man in charge of the reserves, to keep a bit of continuity in the game plan, etc., or association with the senior coaches?
Yeah, look, there are those challenges there, but I think all in all, outside of our coach, they're really good people as well, and you've got to remember that too. So some incredible people have been part of our senior coaching group, and there's no exceptions to that over the past few years. So, and things happen for a reason, and we move on, and I think Clyde's gone on and coached. He's coaching somewhere else, Eagle Farm now, I think. So, and that's fantastic for him. And but no, all in all, there's a person behind that, and then some really good ethics, and that they mean well, put their heart and soul into the football club. So we wish them well. I
remember when Blackwood first joined the league back in about 1987, a long time ago. You were just probably playing under 10s or something.
I was 7.
7, yeah.
Yeah.
Good guess.
There you go.
And there was the expectation that Blackwood may well dominate the competition. In fact, in the early years of the Hills League, they were forced to field sides in both divisions. And when I'm saying Blackwood, when you look at the honour board, the amount of junior premierships have won, also a good share of reserves flags, but it's only transferred into the 3 senior A-grade flags. So we need to see Blackwood do better. And like last year, obviously a bit of a disappointing year, only the 2 wins, but as you said, change of coaches and injuries, etc. But the expectation this year, as I said, seeing that bit of a preview of Michael Hanby, he's seen to be a real intent with the club this year, and a tough gig for you to open up when you do play for the Hanby Cup against his old side in Harndorf. And then I think the first few games will really find out where Blackwood are this year. A tough draw.
Yeah, look, I'm not going to lie, that the draw probably hasn't landed.
But we're going to play sometime, I guess.
Yeah, we do, and that's so. As I said before, there's no ceiling to that. We don't hide behind the fact that we've got the grand finalists in Harndorf and Nairne in the first 2 rounds, and then the preliminary finalists for the following 2. Really, really good tests for our young group. So we're really looking forward to that. This coming Saturday we've got Harndorf coming round 1. So super excited about that. Handles is probably additionally excited because it's his old football club that he's coaching against. But look, he had some great moments there, and
take you up to the club rooms after and show you his photos. 5 times, I think.
Yeah, five-time premiership player. But he brings. I haven't heard that before yet, Pistols. No, he's certainly let us know about that in a good way. Come through the footy club, but he's a Blackwood man now, and.
Absolutely.
He looks fantastic in the Blackwood colours.
And just quickly, I know there's sometimes a bit of a problem with the retention rate of teenage footballers coming through. So you're under 18 side from last year. We unfortunately lost the grand final, but always been up there the last few years. The retention of them this year, you've got a few coming through.
Absolutely, yeah.
That's good.
8 or 9 have stepped straight into our senior program without missing missing a beat. So, I'm really, Alfie Holmesham, I don't want to leave any names.
Yeah, I remember we saw Alfie last year in the court.
Fraser Grigg.
Become a cult figure already.
Yeah, Fraser Morley. So some really, really good young kids coming through that are going to have immediate impact. But again, we don't want to put the pressure on those kids, but they're training the house down. Their trials have been fantastic. And we'll wait and see this coming Saturday to who lines up in the first grade. But really exciting to have them part of our senior program, which is great.
Fantastic. I know early in the season, in about 5th week or something, I think we do Blackwood. I think the Blackwood over at Urayla will be a call with a wild game. So
great.
Fantastic. Maybe we can get you along to do the personal judging or presentation of the
Love
snag
to do that. Love to do that.
Once again, thank you for not only the snag of the day, but also coming on board as a major sponsor. And it's great to see a great community business supporting a great community product in the footy. So if you're looking for the best deal in meat, something to go well with HFL Lager, helping the Lowe's Meat Company. Well done, Daniel.
Thanks, Pistols.
Back with more shortly.
Here's footy right. Here's footy right.
Trent Shorland, principal of Harcourts Adelaide Hills. So I've been running the business now for 25 years. We obviously specialise in residential sales and rural sales property management, and we do some commercial work as well. It's a family-owned and family-run business. Both my children, Harry and Georgia, and my wife, Kim, are in the business as well. Long-standing business that we're very, very proud of. For Kim and I, it's been all about what we can put back into the community as well. So the sport and local events have been something we've really focused heavily on to make sure that, you know, we are putting back into our local Adelaide Hills community. We've got 2 offices. One's in Mount Barker, 58 Gawler Street, and the second one here at Stirling is 8 to 12 Mount Barker Road, Stirling.
Here's footy right. Here's footy right.
Welcome back to Call the Wild HFL season preview for 2025, and because setting our scene for the coming season, we thought we'd be here in the palatial surroundings here at HFL House. And even better, we thought we'd get the under the auspices of the 2 main men in the Hills Football League, of course, erstwhile President Travis Lynn, and recently returning to the fray as Vice President, the great PJ Peter Munn. Welcome aboard, boys.
Thanks for having us.
Yes, thank you, Jeffrey.
Now, what drives a man who's sort of got away from all the hassles of dealing with clubs and irate supporters? I haven't got enough points, this and that, to get back into the fray pit.
Oh, look, I had a 3-year break.
Yeah.
It was time, and I had a chat to Travis, and he said there was a vacancy in the VP role, which I held in 2021. And after having that break, I thought, no, it was time to get back. Yeah, as you know, look, I'm passionate about football. My involvement with the Chunka Football Club has sort of waned over the years because the boys have stopped playing, and I've got grandkids there now. But I just thought, no, I'll come back at the top end.
Goals as well as you?
No one could do that.
No, you don't. And he's still honest.
Yeah, so look, it was just time, and I have a bit of time up the sleeve, and I think it's important that we support Hills Football League as much as we can, as passionately as we can, and it's no different with you and Goldie with what roles you guys play.
It's amazing, Pete. You look at $1 million. It's funny to think that next year, 40 years since you orchestrated that magnificent Mount Lofty Premiership victory.
Oh man, 40 years. Where's that gone?
Well, you're only 10 years old playing Halo.
Yeah,
I was 8.
Yeah, you were 8, and actually I've got a reunion back at Absalom Holt club this year. That was 85. Came back, and then coached and played in the 86 Premiership with Mount Lofty.
Of course.
And you know, I think back now, and you know, I was in my 30s when I got up to the Hills League, and you know, where did those 14 years go? Because I hung the boots up early 40s.
Yeah.
And took my gear for a couple of years just in case. You never know, there might have been a vacancy or a position. So, and then obviously I went into the footy management side with the Chunga with presidency and whatnot, and then did the Hills League for 2 years, and now I'm back. So, yeah, 40 years.
Yep.
A long time.
It is a long time.
Yes.
As I say, when
you're and so 67 years, which is my age.
Wow.
So,
Now, Travis, as we mentioned before, fantastic concept this year as far as Call the Wild. We've got to thank you as the driving force that sort of went out and made it all happen. So thank you to that. And as I said, we're looking forward to producing some of the best coverage of community football live streaming in South Australia for this season.
No worries. It was always in the plan to have Call of the Wild, wasn't it? It was just a bit quicker than what we thought we'd get to. So SA footballers come on board as well, so they'll do the filming and all that.
Yep.
And then we'll do the live stream. So we've got Tommy on board. You've introduced him before. Got all the gear. He's promised me it's going to be better than what we've produced before. So you better live up to it.
Pressure, Travis.
I'm sure he will, and it's fantastic to see, as we had Daniel Lowe on before, great community businesses getting involved. I know there's a couple of others who've come on board too to support us. So it's just great supporting a great community. Well, let's face it, footy, probably the biggest community sport in this region.
For sure, we haven't had to go too far, like with Trent and his business with Harcourts and all that, and then Aaron with Ford Mount Barker jumped on board straight away.
Yeah,
so,
fantastic.
They saw your Facebook post and all that, so they've come on board big time, and then with Lowe's as well, and then Print Wrap Pack to get these.
Yeah, fantastic.
So these are production ones. These won't be going out to the players.
I see you'll be shouting the beers more often than you do. You're just going to get some of these.
Possibly, yeah. The Print Wrap Pats are really good. So they've got
Yeah.
their own brewery and all that.
Fantastic.
They've donated carton beer for each week for your most effective player.
What for the commentary team?
We're not allowed to give it to you because
Okay.
Pete thinks that you'll be drinking it.
Yeah.
Give
Could be
it
his
out,
problem.
so.
Jeffrey.
But yeah, the great sponsors that have come on board have really helped us. So.
Hey, and the season, other things in the season to come. I know the Moddies numbers are up. That's great, and the pre-season carnivals, which I think you've already had. Which
Yeah,
is
so we've had 2 carnivals so
great.
far to start off the year and all that. So I've heard nothing bad about it yet. So we've
Yeah.
had the under 10s on the weekend, which I was at, and Pete was there as well, and Tim
Yep.
was over at Burwood for the under 11s on the
Yep.
weekend. So we had pretty good weather. Good football. There was we had 3 ovals going all the time with 15, 20 kids running around on each team. So you've got 40 kids.
Wow, that is
running
fantastic.
around and all that. So and then Burwood's had the same. So the good weather and all that. Under 9s this weekend, under 8s last week of school holidays.
Yeah.
After Anzac Day, so get it out of the way early. Good weather, good
Yeah.
ovals.
And I
so
suppose
far
with the
it's been
AFL starting when they do in February these days, everyone's mowed into football.
Yep.
So it's good to see the youngsters out already.
Yeah.
And-
Just gets the kids and the parents thinking football.
yeah, absolutely. And also women's footy.
Women's footy kicks
No,
off this
yep,
weekend.
That's
so we've got
right. Did see that, and a big bonus there, extra team. I know you might have lost some, but great to see the Birdwood Football Club in there.
Burwood football's in there, so we've still got 8 team in the senior women. So they've got an even draw this year, so it's looking magnificent. We had a meeting last night, finalised the draw for all of them. So the senior women's, the 17s and the 14s. So the 17s and 14s have dropped off a little bit with numbers, but
Yeah.
I put that down to a little bit of COVID, I reckon, when kids
Yep.
like 14s, so under 12s, we've lost a few numbers as well.
Yeah, yeah.
But that's the same kind of thing. The kids dropped off when they couldn't go out and play sport and stuff like that. So the numbers will pick back up with that. But the senior women is looking healthy.
Yeah, and the C grade, I know Macclesfield putting in a side, which is fantastic for the Bloods. Obviously, increase in playing numbers down there.
They've got 80 on the track from what they were telling me. So there were
Wow.
10 teams in the C grade this year. So
Yeah.
it's the biggest I've seen.
So overall, you could say there's been an increase in the amount of teams going to be playing in the Hills Football League this year.
We can say that quite comfortably.
Absolutely.
So
Yep.
Harmdorf got an extra 8 under 8s team in. Nairne have put an extra 9s team in today. So
Yep.
Moddies are still coming in.
Fantastic. And the season, obviously, Interleague, be on the agenda again.
Interleague, we're hosting it this year, so we're still
We got a venue that we can.
we're still looking for a venue for it and all that. So the summit's unavailable. So we're still looking for someone to host it, and then also training as well. So
Yeah.
we'll have 3 training sessions, with the last one being Guernsey presentations, and then the game
Fantastic.
on the Saturday. So
And also notice something that's fantastic, the Anzac round, because Anzac Day being a Friday, there'll be actually a couple of games, a traditional game, obviously Mount Barker and Harmdorf, which you'll see live on the Call of the Wild on Anzac Day, but also Onkers and and Lobethal playing, and also traditional rivals, Gumaraka and Kersbrook facing off. So you have 3 big games of footy. They've all staggered the starts on Anzac Day, which is great. It brings
Agreed. Yeah.
around the honour of the day, isn't it?
Yeah.
Anzac Day is going to be huge for the Hills Footy League this year.
Yeah.
So. But going back to the Interleague as well, we're going to have a women's program on there as well. So there's going to be a women's
Fantastic
game.
to see
So
them
it'll be
involved again.
it'll be an internal trial as such for the Eastern Zone. So they get a trial match so they can pick some teams and all that. So to get the women on the Interleague as well would be good. But yeah, Anzac Day is going to be huge.
Still a little bit of work to do on the interleague on both men's and women's, but
Yes.
there. So
Yeah,
yeah,
fantastic. Well, also shaping up as a fantastic season. Just quickly, obviously your second season in charge as president. What things have you tinkered from last year, or rather, what things did you see that needed improving, and hopefully you've sort of made the steps to improve them this year that stuck out last year for you, or the thing just ran smoothly under you?
It has been smooth so far. Like I've been asking Sam, is there anything I can do, because there hasn't been much to do. But we've looked at the draw a little bit this year, so we didn't want to play dead rubbers, so we obviously dropped.
I like
The
that
chungus
concept.
dropped down and all that, so we don't have dead rubbers. We play a couple extra rounds in the middle.
The good thing is you've got that in the middle of the season,
Yep.
so it doesn't really reflect when it comes to the end.
Yeah, so there's no dead rubbers
Yeah,
at the end and
yeah.
stuff like that. So and it's bottom fours playing top four, and bottom fours playing each other. So
Yep.
it gives them a good crack at making the
Yep.
bottom 5 and stuff like that. And then it's also quality football you'll see from the top 4 teams
Yep,
playing each other as well. So
Yeah, no.
and then obviously the Call of the Wild's the thing that I've worked on probably the
Yep.
most in the off season. So
Well, I know when you took over the job, you said one of your priorities was to make the Hills competition the best, or one of the best, if not the best, community country football league in South Australia. So certainly it seems things are going on pretty well, mate. And that goal may well be achieved.
we're taking steps towards that, I think. So to have experience of Pete
Yeah,
back on
great
that,
to
and
see
then
you
also
back on board, Pete.
Yeah, look, I'm pleased. I'm looking
Yeah.
forward to it.
Yeah.
And
My dad knows the league games. You'll be the bloke behind the goals,
Yeah.
chasing the footballs when they cook, so you don't lose it.
yeah, you're right. But look, just on this year, I was sort of taking on the umpiring portfolio as well.
Yeah.
And I was talking to Corey,
Yep.
umpires coach, today, and it's all well and good. We've got all these teams and whatnot. We've got enough umpires. We'll have these little ups and downs, and we've got the club umpires coming in to umpire in the B grade. And he told me today there's 15 registered now through
Wow,
the umpires.
that's
So
fantastic.
there's still a couple of clubs that need to do it.
Yep.
But all up, there's 58 umpires registered, apart from the club ones, but 19 or so of those are junior umpires. But he's still looking for guys and gals to participate and to grow the numbers, because there will be a shortage throughout the season, no question about it.
Yeah.
So he's got Dig 1 covered, and for the first week when they start in a week and a half, and he's got the Sunday games covered when both leagues are playing, or both divisions are playing. We'll see where it goes.
Now, I think as we close this section, it's probably topical what we've just been talking about with the umpires, because you guys had a bit to do with these particular gentlemen. Just want to wish our condolences to the Hills Football League umpiring fraternity on the recent loss of Noel Veers,
Yeah, absolutely.
season A grade umpire based around Achunga, and of course great
Man,
Adrian Muldoon, who
Yeah.
unfortunately passed away too, which he had a lot to do with Adrian, and I know he went to the funerals as well. So so the relatives, friends, etc., we pass on our condolences here from the call of the wild. So
for sure.
all right, thank you very much for joining us,
No
guys,
worries,
and no
Andy.
doubt the with you guys in charge will be running very smoothly.
You enjoy your all right?
We'll try and do
You
it.
too, Goldie.
Thank you very much.
thanks, Pistola.
Thank you
Right.
all soon.
Thank you.
Here's footy right. Here's footy right.
Mount Barker Ford is located just Totness here on Mount Barker Road. We're owned by a gentleman by the name of Peter Thomas, who his veins are rich with football and rich with community, and he's always been based around the idea that everything you do in business should be based around how you can support the community. At the end of the day, I don't expect people to always come and see us, but ultimately we're a business who thrive in supporting the community, and from our perspective we look forward to the community supporting us, and it doesn't matter whether it be the Call of the Wild, the HFL. We're involved in a lot of other community events throughout the hills, and that's why I like being involved with sport, because I think that brings everyone together at different times and different requirements.
Here's footy right. Here's footy right.
As we mentioned, very special this year, the Call of the Wild, and through the auspices of newly created HFL Media, as we mentioned, Trav and Pete, and a couple of very prominent Mount Barker businesses, community businesses, have come on hand to make that all happen. As you know, you've had dealings with that. So we sent our man, who better to send out and find out all about it? It was our man Benny Goldfinch, who caught up with Aaron Rush from Mount Barker Ford Motor Company, and also Trent Shorland, our man in Japan currently, from Harcourts, to talk about how it all came about. So without further ado, take it away, Goldie.
All right, here we are at Mount Barker Ford, and we've got the great privilege of joined by Aaron Rush, wearing multiple hats, I suppose, with this interview. President of the Lobethal Football Club for 2025. We'll start with that. Reason for getting involved as president of the Tigers.
Yeah, I mean, I've been involved with Lobethal Footy Club for a number of years now, and we've always been local to Lobethal, but we as a family, we moved not long ago, and I've been coaching and everything else, and the club approached me whether I could be involved in that capacity. And at the end of the day, I love the footy club, and so I took it on board and took over from Travis, and who's done a great job the last 4 years, and got a great committee. So when you're supported by a great committee and got a great club, it's an easy choice.
What do you love most about the Lobethal Football Club?
Well, actually, the people. That's who I love. The people, whether it be through the kids and their parents, through the adults who play in our senior grades. But ultimately, I just like the community and love the community and what they do for each other. And we've seen that throughout, whether it be fires or whatnot. But more importantly, over the past sort of 4 or 5 years, the galvanisation of the community and supporting each other. That's why I got involved, and that's why I love it.
obviously have moddies on Friday nights, and then we get underway early Saturday mornings. I mean, what's it like? What's the feeling like when you drive through those gates? Maybe on a Friday night and also early on a Saturday morning. How do you feel?
Excited with some talent that's coming through. That kids are not sitting down at home doing nothing or playing games, and more importantly, they're playing out in the oval, creating friendships, creating teamwork. And then come Saturday, it's all guns blazing, watching the junior colts through the senior colts and through the seniors and what they're going to do. We're pretty excited what the season looks for us. And we're excited for the HFL season to begin.
Just on that, I mean, the community football aspect, you're talking about young people and the importance to have that community and connection and an outlook, getting fit and, how important is that for people, the youth of in the hills in particular?
Oh, I think it's vitally important. I think at the end of the day, some of these smaller towns, it's a real difficulty creating connections, and I think football clubs play an important role in creating those connections and creating an environment where kids can come away from, whether it be difficulties at home, difficulties at school, and can actually come together to sort of go towards one goal and create friendships that can last for a lifetime, essentially. And that's why I'm big on community footy.
Thank you once again for getting involved with Call of the Wild. Also, your other hat, obviously, Mount Barker Ford. Tell us about your involvement there and reason for getting involved with Call of the Wild for 2025.
It's the best commentary team in South Australia, isn't it? That's why you get involved. But ultimately, again, it boils back down to the fact that I'm big on community and big on community sport, and for me, it's about supporting community. And if we didn't get involved with a couple of other sponsors, it might not exist. So, and that's unfair for those who can't get to the footy, who are interstate, who may be overseas from time to time. And so ultimately, you want to get involved and support everything that's about community. And obviously, we're supporting the HFL through that, and it's fantastic to be a part of. Good partnership.
I know during the finals campaign a few years ago, when Jack was playing, his parents and family watching in Tassie and Aidan Riley and Wollongong. So that's what it's all about, the interaction.
Yeah, absolutely. And you can see it, where you can see comments, you can see when you guys are talking and people are coming through where they're located. I've done it as well when I'm away. You're watching and listening. So for me, it's about supporting everything community, and that's what Mount Barker Ford does. It doesn't matter whether it's a Taste of Adelaide or netball. We want to be involved. We want to help because most of our staff are obviously local, and I'm local. And the Hills is a vibrant community that you want to be involved with and support.
Not that it's about one individual, but Charlie Dixon obviously coming to Lobethal this season. How did it come about, and how big is it for the Lobethal and the Hills footy?
Yeah, I didn't think we were going to talk about that. More important things to talk about than Charlie. But no, at the end of the day, Charlie made the decision that he wanted to play local footy.
Yep.
And he ended up choosing Lobethal, which is fantastic. But I said this in a number of sort of interviews, that ultimately the winner is HFL.
Yep.
And the Adelaide Hills community. So, and then from a Lobethal perspective, the winner's actually a lot of our kids. Through coaching and training and watching them out there, a lot of our under-18s are actually getting a fair bit of information and insight on what it takes and where to position themselves and how to do things, and that goes for our senior players as well. But we're just excited that someone of Charlie's, not so much his football calibre, but just him as a person. He's a private person, but he's actually a fantastic individual. Has chosen to play at Lobethal and also chosen to play in the HFL. I think it's a huge win.
Just looking ahead, Anzac round against Onkers under lights. I mean, obviously we've got round one, but is that a sort of a big day for the club overall?
I think it's a massive day for the club, for both clubs in particular. But again, it's community, brings the community together to remember those who went before us and those who sacrificed. And I think it's a great tradition that we can uphold. And it's a privilege to play on that day, and we're expecting a big crowd.
And just overall, what are you hearing? What are your thoughts on how the competition will be this year? Pretty even? Very
even. I think it'll be very even. And we're quietly confident as a club, as every club at this stage of the year is quietly confident. But we're quietly confident. I think it'll be a really even competition, which is great for the players, great for the fans, and ultimately a HFL.
Fantastic. Well, thanks very much once again for getting involved in Call of the Wild this year.
No worries at all. Appreciate it, and we look forward to it.
Here's footy right. Here's footy right. Now it's time to back your side. When lose or draw, it's now time for the Hills Footy Ride. Hills Footy Ride. Hills Footy Ride.
Welcome back, pre-season edition, Call of the Wild, HFL Media, and of course this coming Friday night it all gets underway at Balhana Oval, Onkaparinga Valley Bulldogs versus Nairne United, and we will be there, very much looking forward to it. Our first call under the new banner of HFL Call of the Wild involves this man's team, Nairne United, of course, new president of the Rams for 2025, Gareth Diprose. Thanks for joining us, Gareth.
Thank you, thanks for having me. It's good to be here, Goldie.
Yeah. How you found, when did you first get involved as president? When did the changeover with you and Bronte take place?
So conversations happened sort of, midway through last year, but it all became official in October. But luckily, Bronte and Dale had both sort of done a really good job of, working the club over the last 4 or 5 years, and it meant that the transition was pretty smooth. So it's a lot to take in to start with, but it's all come thick and fast since then. So.
What's your background in Nairne United Football Club? When did it get underway for you?
Yeah, so I played most of my footy out in the Mallee, and then played my last 3 years of A grade at Nairne in 2016. So played 3 years then and sort of have been here ever since, and deeply involved and junior director and all sorts of stuff with committee as well. So yeah.
So you would have been part of Tony Filkey when he was coach?
Yep. Tony was my coach, that's for sure.
And during that period, it was sort of a period of slowly moving towards Division 1, and now obviously premiers and grand final last year. What's the vibe like at the moment heading into the 2025 season? Yeah,
the vibe's great. It's like, it has been. I think you nailed it. It was a real slow road where it was just kind of gradual build towards where we are now. And there's a lot of good people that have worked really hard to kind of get the club to where it needs to be. We've got the luxury that some don't, where we've got a growing population. We've got a primary school and a whole sort of, a lot of families moving into the area. And so we recognise that opportunity, and since then it's been a great ride. And so I think that's, what's the vibe? We've got Peanut, Clint Foster. He's our new A grade coach, taking over the reins from Dale, who was assistant obviously last year to Dale and the year before.
Smooth transition,
yeah. They've got a different style, but Peanut's a 300 game club legend, so he knows his football and he knows what he's on about. They've got a lot of sort of synergy between them football-wise, but different styles. They're different guys, and it's sort of exciting because I think what Clint's brought with it is just a different vibe, and the continuity's been good though too. The fact that he was an assistant in the last couple of years. So
and he had a bit of a stint last year too. I think for a few games. Obviously the win against Mount Lofty at Heathfield, he was coach then when Dale was off for a few weeks.
Yes, so correct. Yeah. So that probably made the transition even easier. Yeah, so it was good.
Leadership group.
Yep.
How's that looking?
It's not fully defined yet, but shaping up. So it'll be, I think, announced in the next couple of days. So it's the same sort of guys, that are involved though. Yep. We've got pretty good continuity in the group. So it'll be pretty similar to where it has been in the last few years as well. So.
All right. And what about the rest of the coaching stuff? A few changes there, or you kept it pretty? But Bees obviously a good get there with Adam Penny coming over.
We've got Spender come in, who's just awesome. He's brought a whole different sort of perspective to the footy club and finding his way, and I think he's just looking forward to getting footy started too. Yep. So with Clint, you've got guys that were sort of in the system already, and so some of those assistants have come across. Adam Eckerman, sort of as sort of an assistant. You've got all those guys. You've got Jono Foster. And it's really a good little group that's kind of working together, and Simon Worcester as well, obviously in that group. So they know each other really well, and this is a good vibe. It's just a good vibe.
And obviously, it's just fresh from being involved in the Sheffield Shield squad victory, but just to have someone like Thomas Kelly involved in the coaching, I noticed he's a clearance too. Is he a chance of playing this year?
Yeah. There's a sneaky few games coming, I think. So we'll see what that means. Obviously, it's a little bit of complicated with cricket and all that sort of stuff, but honestly, just having him at our footy club is great. He's a bit of a cult hero around the place. So. It's more than footy for him, so having him involved in the under-18s, but he's just a vibe. And we had CK, his brother, who's not playing with us this year, but cause due to work. But ultimately, having the two of them around the club is awesome. They are a vibe, that's for sure.
Obviously, unfortunately, Lockie May getting injured at Sturt, but you've got some guys returning this year as well. So balancing things out.
Yeah,
overall.
I feel for Lockie. That's a brutal one because I think he was heading towards potential selection too, and for him to go down the way he did, just brutal because he's a good kid. And I think they've looked after him though, and he's had his op and he's on the way to recovery. So. We've had a few outs with Lockie and Josh Dodd, who's gone to Bordertown. That one's gonna hurt the team, but it's been a really, really good year. And I think Peanut, just being a 300 game legend, is part of that. Where we've just got our depth has been added to. We've got a whole bunch of guys come back, like your Nick Yench has come back, your Heath McDoodle, Baden Willis, those guys have come back, and then you add to that sort of a whole bunch more. It's really cool to have that sort of depth kind of be really pushed. So
every time we go to Nairne, it's got a special vibe. I mean, how important it is not just for the footy club, but the whole community of Nairne. Obviously, you're known as the Ramley, and you've been integral with that in terms of your social media work and what you've been doing over behind the scenes. But the Nairne Footy Club, what does it mean to the community? Yeah,
I think it ties back to what we were talking about with that growth into Div 1, like as a footy club, and recognising the opportunity that we had. It kind of started as a bit of a marketing thing, but it sort of turned into something a lot more because it kind of speaks to what we are as a footy club. So I think Bronte and Dale and all of them have actually kind of pushed that through our club to the seniors as well, not just to the juniors. And what's cool is it's kind of become our culture now, and we're owning it, and that's where we'll be going. And even with the transition to presidency, it makes it a bit easier when you've got that identity, like you know what you are as a footy club. So we're just leaning into it, to be honest, and having some fun. And I think that's what Clint brings to the senior group, and it's what we want from our junior program. We want it to be fun. We want it to sort of be inclusive and just bring everyone together. So.
And you've also been involved with the social media and the videos, grand final production, incredible. Has that been a passion of yours or something?
Yeah, it's a bit more career. So, hence I'm in advertising.
Right.
So it's kind of my world. So do that on the side. But when it crosses over into my real world, it's nice. So and that's the stuff. That's actually fun. It's not work when it's talking footy and putting stuff like that together and getting life members into a room and seeing what they have to say about the footy club and their experience, and just creates itself. So it's again, just comes back to what we are as a footy club and what we want to be. So yeah.
And just finally, what are you expecting overall from the competition this season? What's your gut feel?
My gut feel is that it's going to be level. I think that's what I would say. Having had the conversations, it just feels like there's been some teams that are recruited really, really well, and some young lists that are kind of getting better as we go. I think we're a little bit with us. It's going to be the same where. We've lost some top end talent, but it's our depth that's going to either make or break us effectively. And so I'm just expecting it to be a really level competition, and I think it's nice to give it a crack and get underway with Onkaparinga on Friday night under lights, and we'll see what comes of it. So.
What a good plug. So tune in Friday night, Call of the Wild, Bremner United versus Onkaparinga Valley. Gareth, all the best to the Rams for 2025, and thanks for your support.
Thanks, mate. Awesome.
Cheers. Love it.
Here's footy right. Here's footy right. Here's footy right. Here's footy right.
All right, we got the great privilege joined here by co-owner of Harcourts Adelaide Hills, Trent Shorland. Trent, thanks for joining us.
Thanks, Ben. Happy to be here.
Your involvement with Call of the Wild HFL Media this season. Thanks firstly, but yeah.
Look, mate, it's a privilege, to be honest, and obviously being part of the Harder Footy Club, I had some insight to the fact that there's some changes happening with the coverage of the HFL next year, and when I saw that it could be affecting Call of the Wild, I was very passionate about making sure that that you guys continued on, if it was obviously in a different, with a different group, but I was very keen to make sure that was sort of reinstated, and I reached out to Travis and I think yourself and Jeff early days to see what I could do to make sure that continued.
So what is the involvement this season? Well, obviously, I think Tommy bought the majority of the equipment with the money that you've put forward, so it's fantastic.
Yep. So obviously Travis asked us to put forward I guess a reasonably significant sponsorship to ensure that you could rebuy everything, because it obviously wasn't owned by you guys to start with. So we've basically rebuilt it, hoping that whatever happens, it gives, I guess, the club some flexibility if the TV rights need to change again, that you guys are a permanent fixture.
What do you enjoy about the Call of the Wild and the live streaming aspect of it in the Hills?
Mate, I love Hills footy in general. So anything that's going to benefit, I guess, the growth of the game locally. I mean, obviously I'm a passionate Hardorf person, as you know, but I'm passionate about Hills footy in general. I'm the sort of guy will go and watch a Adelaide or Onkers game rather than go watch a Crows game. So for me, it was really a no-brainer. I saw that you guys have done a fantastic job over the past few years promoting Hills football, and I think it's made a significant difference. I think there's an increased level of people want to participate because of the television. I mean, young people love to see their faces on TV. So to me, I saw it as a real privilege to be able to sort of throw some support behind it.
And your background in the Hills in sports-wise, where did it start for you?
Well, it's been at Hardorf most of my life. So I started under 8s and went all the way through to A-grade footy, and same with cricket at Hardorf. So I've been involved as a player till about age 33, and then as a president and now footy director for the last 10 years of the Hardorf Footy Club.
How do you see the state of the Hills Football League?
I think it's in great shape. I know that obviously Hardorf's been relatively dominant over the last 10 years, but the reality is I think that just drives the level up, which now teams are definitely catching up. You can see it from the past few results where obviously Lobethal won one and Nairne won one, and obviously last year we were lucky enough to get over the line. But it's showing that the level of and standard of the footy's gone up, and I think TV and your work has actually contributed to that as well.
In terms of the Hills Footy League, what do you enjoy most about it? Obviously, it starts Friday nights with the Moddies, and then we got Saturday morning right through with the Colts. What does it mean to you?
I think, look, the reality is country footy is run by volunteers, so they're all people that you've enjoyed participating in sport with when you were playing, and then afterwards they're putting back into the game. I guess it's a bit of a responsibility for all of us. We obviously had the enjoyment of playing and getting a lot of fun out of it, to then help obviously our kids and our kids' kids get that same enjoyment. If you don't put back in, the game can fall apart pretty quickly. So I love the community. I mean, you go to any game, any ground, and you can have a conversation with 10 or 12 different people that you've had an association with for the last 40 years. To me, that's what makes the game enjoyable. That's what makes country footy enjoyable.
And some predictions from you for this season? What are some things that you think might take place?
Well, I think as I said before, the competition's getting more and more competitive. I see Lobethal signed obviously a really significant signing this year, which is great for the competition. Obviously, it'll bring a few people through the gate, which obviously bigger crowds means more income for the footy club. So I think it's great. I think Mount Lofty and Mount Barker made some big steps last year, so I can see them getting back. And I think a healthy Mount Barker is actually really important for the competition. They're the biggest town. I think it's great. And that's obviously Handles, who's obviously a friend of mine who's played footy at Hardorf, going over to help Blackwood out. Again, a club that's showed so much promise with their juniors. It'd be great to see that flowing through to the senior level. But obviously my prediction is I hope Hardorf wins again.
And just Harcourts, Adelaide Hills, just tell us about that as well and your involvement there.
Yeah, so obviously I've owned and run the business in the Adelaide Hills for 25 years. It's a business that obviously my wife and I have run and enjoyed running. We employ a lot of local people. We've got 30 odd staff here. Our kids are now in the business. We enjoy being part of this community, enjoy selling in this region. And obviously we've tried to put back a little bit with sponsorships at different sporting clubs. Obviously we have a strong involvement with the Outback Racing Club as well. We've had involvements with a lot of different community events that we think is really important.
And if people want to get involved, whether they obviously got Mount Barker office and Stirling office?
Yeah, obviously our involvement in sponsorship is not about just trying to get business out of
Yep.
it. We do it because we want to see great community things happen.
Yep.
If that flows through to business, fantastic.
Yep.
Obviously, we've got the Adelaide Hills covered with an office in Mount Barker and Stirling, and it's obviously more than happy to serve the community with our real estate needs. But first and foremost, this sponsorship is about obviously continuing and making sure your work continues with HFL.
All right, and just round one prediction. We start off with Onkaparinga Valley versus Nairne United under lights on Friday, round one. What are your thoughts for our round one matchup?
I would suggest Nairne still will be very competitive. I know they've had a change of coach. Dale's done an unbelievable job there for the last few years, but I think what's been put in place at Nairne is something that will stand the test of time. I think they'll be successful for quite a few years. Because I know I've been on the recruiting run and have had a change of coach as well, I believe. So I think it'll be a competitive game. I know Nairne started a little slowly last year, but I do believe that Nairne will probably get the chocolates.
And round two, of course, we got Harndorf Mount Barker. I think you'll be back for that, or you?
We'll be back hopefully. Yeah, so I got a little
and
break.
And the Anzac Day rivalry is fantastic.
Anzac Day is a great day. I think whether it's country footy or AFL or SANFL, I think as a footy club, obviously talking as a Harndorf person now, being able to play on Anzac Day is a huge privilege. And I think last year we snuck over the line by a point. I know they've improved their team a bit again over the summer. Obviously, Lacus has got his second year in charge, so I think it'll be a super competitive game and one that people should get out and watch on Anzac Day. I think it's Friday, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, so should be a huge crowd at supporting that game.
I think it's Mount Barker.
It's Mount Barker this year. We had it last year, so they should get a nice little fill up on the bar and the canteen.
All right. Well, thank you very much, Trent. Enjoy your trip, and we'll get you on during the season.
Thanks
once again, Harcourts Adelaide Hills. Thank you.
Mate. Cheers.
Cheers.
Here's footy right. Here's footy right.
Hey guys, Jared here. So we've been here since October. We've found our feet, we've settled in, and things are ticking along beautifully. As you would have seen, we've opened up the yard, we've cleared out those middle bays, got a heap of space for everyone to come in. We're about to get into firewood season and it's going to go ballistic. It's a perfect opportunity for so many different people. We've got a range of different things to do. Think front end loaders, trucks out on deliveries, yard hands, splitting wood. There's a huge element of customer service. All in all, we're looking to continue to provide our customers with the very best customer service, and we're looking to have a great time along the way.
Here's footy right. Here's footy right.
Welcome back to the HFL pre-season show on a Sunday night. Here with Matt Thomas, special comments, absolute HFL superstar, former HFL superstar. Matt, welcome.
Yes, thank you very much, JJ. I'm very excited to be here. It's great to be recruited to be part of the team. It's been a while since it's been recruited. So very excited for what the season has to bring, the media presence we'll have, and hopefully it's just some real clarity and some direction we can give the viewers and listeners at home.
For sure, great to have you on board. And like I said in the introduction with the stats, obviously from last season, 2023 to 2024, 1,301 points differential from the top 5 aggregate. You can understand that, Matt.
I can.
So what's your thoughts as to why the differential there?
I just think game style. I think if you look at the way teams have been playing and changing the way they play, Hills footy's big on internal, contest in the middle of the ground, scoring power, but also the half-backs being able to arrest, forward entries. It's almost like a bit of a game of ping pong when you watch Hills footy sometimes. Like there's just, then all of a sudden, once one team can get some ascendancy and build some momentum, any team that can get a great quarter of 3, 4, 5 consecutive goals, you're seeing pretty much the team that'll win most games. So it's really good to watch as a viewer and lover of Hills footy.
Yeah. So this season, basically from the top team, Harndorf, there was nearly basically 100 less goals than we sort of worked out.
520 something points, wasn't it?
Yeah. So Yeah, and obviously, good evidence is the grand final last year is a very, very low scoring as well. So what do you think this season? You sort of bit of a guess. Do you think it's going to be more attacking, or what's your thoughts? And maybe based on the recruits from each team as well.
I have had a bit of a look at the recruiting that the teams have done, and for mine, I'm seeing a lot of ball carrying halfbacks, goal scoring halfbacks, strong midfielders that can, and even key position forwards. For me, when you're recruiting, when you're looking at a side and you're looking at how you can most improve, you're looking at your on ball. Okay, you're looking at the stronger body midfielders if you can get them, where you're getting them from, what's their pedigree. But you're also looking for goal presence, and even from those midfielders, if you can get a goal-kicking midfielder, that's a massive tick for your team. Key position forwards, key position backs, and then you're using your juniors that are coming through the system. You're not going to throw them into the Wolves, into a key position early. You're going to probably try to nurture them through a half-back, wing, not often a pocket, sometimes a back pocket, but if they're a goal-scoring junior, you're playing them in a forward pocket. So I know Blackwood Football Club, for example, they're doing a really strong job on bringing through their juniors this season. A huge focus on that. And I think your Radler are trying to do the same thing.
Yeah, and so just on your Radler as well. So they're one of two teams in the last 3 seasons, so 2022 to 2024, that have made the finals in each of those seasons. Obviously, Harndorf is the other one as well. So, what's your thoughts on that? And any players from those two teams, you sort of did mention one before in the introduction, you're excited about?
Yeah, look, I think when you see Urader and Harndorf and the way they play their football, Harndorf of tradition is just bashing forward, and they're just so strong, and they turn the footy over at half back. Their press pushes, their half back line of their press is actually sometimes on the half forward line of the opposition. So they press so hard, which makes it incredibly hard for a team to get out. Urader is just so good at the stoppage. They keep space, they can run into spaces, but the thing that I like, and I'll go back to what Urader have brought in with young Trenorden. I played with his uncle, who's an absolute freak, Mitch. But then you've got Jimmy Richards as well, and Jimmy's going to bring that dynamic. If you've seen him play before, and I loved coaching against him when he was a junior, when I was coaching at Blackwood, he's just all fire and brimstone. He's exciting. He'll explode at the footy. He'll bring it forward, and I think he's going to kick an absolute guts full of goals. But aside from that, I think you can talk about Urader and Harndorf, but who else is next? I think there's going to be a lot of pressure. I think it's going to be a jam-packed Final 4, Final 5. And then, if someone else can get into 6th and 7th, it's going to come down to how they play against those top teams during the year. No one's going to get through unscathed. It's going to be a great competition. I can't wait for this year.
Yeah, for sure. And obviously in 2023, Nairne scored 2,009 points and scored 1,472 in 2024. So virtually identical nearly to Harndorf in both of those seasons, which is fascinating to think about, really. So what's your thoughts on Nairne? Obviously finished second in 2024, 2023 obviously won the flag as well, but in the minor round they finished second and then 6th in 2022. So just your thoughts on Nairne as well?
Well, that was going to be my next mouthful, is Nairne, Mount Barker, and Mount Lofty. That's just encapsulating last year's finalists. Then you get us to have pressure from the other teams coming from behind. But I mean, Nairne moved the footy really well. They played their deck unbelievably, and they're a momentum team. They've got the ability to play players forward and back in the same game, and sometimes even pinch it in ruck. They've just got such a strong list altogether. You're talking about Barker. Their run and carry they'll have from a couple of brothers coming in from, forgive me for not remembering the name, from Strathalbyn. I think they're gonna bring some real pressure for other teams' forward lines, because that ball is going to come in hot and hard. But yeah, like I say, there's just so much to look forward to. I haven't done too much research on Mount Lofty just as of yet, but I'm really looking forward to sinking my teeth into the ins and outs of each team, seeing how that's messing with their A grade and their B grade, and seeing just seeing how the start of the season rolls out. We'll see a bit in the first 3 to 4 games, and then we'll all start, who do we think is going to go where? But from that point, it'd be really good to see how it just all rolls out throughout the season. Yeah, it's going to be a great year. Can't wait.
I can't wait either. It's going to be a fascinating year. And obviously, we spoke about Mount Barker. Obviously, good evidence of their dynamic forward line was in the elimination final against your Radler as well. And you spoke about the first 3 or 4 games. We'll get a gauge of where the season is going, really. So, obviously, last year in the first 2 rounds, there was 1,222 points scored. That's a collaboration of each team. So that's an average score of 76.37 per team, right? And what's also remarkable is that in Div 2 last season, there was 919 points scored across the 2 rounds as well.
Wow.
And so when you divide it by 12, obviously the amount of, across the two games by each team, is also 76 as well.
Oh, wow.
So that's, pretty phenomenal there. It's virtually the same, same score.
The teams are there to kick goals and put scores on the board to win games. So it doesn't matter where you're playing, whether it be Timbuktu, Kangarilla, Harndorf, whatever. What's the game plan? The game plan is to kick a bigger score than the opposition. So that's exactly what teams are doing. It doesn't matter where they're doing it. As long as they're kicking goals and high fives and bum taps, everyone's happy,
Yeah, for sure. And obviously, spoke about the teams that have been thereabouts the last 3 seasons in Division 1, and we've also in Country Division, Camaraka Meadows and Kangarilla are the only 3 teams in the Country Division that have made finals from 2022 to 2024 as well. So just those 3 seasons, it's good to get a gauge on who have been the powerhouses from both divisions as well. So it'd be interesting Country Division season as well. And it was
so just quickly on that, I think Gamaraka have been struggling a little bit for numbers early in the piece, like their medalist brothers. I think they've gone off to play in the country comp, and good on them for doing that. I mean, they've served Gamaraka enormously. But if you look at Meadows and Kangarilla, I went out to one of their games last season before, and it was hammer and tongs. It was a fantastic game to watch, high quality football. So I'd be really interested to see how the country division rolls through their first few games, and we can look at some stats that matter and start to weigh up on who we think is going to go well in that comp too.
Yeah, for sure. I think Macclesfield are going to be ones to watch as well. They really intrigue me. It'll be interesting to see how they go as well. And finished 6th last season and 3rd and 7th and 23 in 2022. So it's going to be an interesting season for Country Division and also Division 1 as well.
Yeah, so just in closing, I mean, I think we're all looking forward to it, audience included, looking forward to season 2025. And I just want everyone to get going now. So we'll look forward to speaking to you guys in the next segment. Cheers.
Here's footy right. Here's footy right.
So the Call of the Wild wouldn't be possible without the following sponsors. We've got Harcourts, Ford Mount Barker, Lowe's Meat Co, that's Buckets from Blackwood Footy Club, Print, Wrap and Pack, and also Lancaster's Property Services. So I'd like to thank them for their sponsorship, and we look forward to a fantastic 2025. More to come.
Here's footy right. Here's footy right.
A lot of excitement's building because not many sleeps. How many sleeps to go, Jayden?
5.
5 to go until the Hills Football League season starts officially, because the ladies starting last weekend, but this Friday night, in fact, and of course we'll be there for the Call of the Wild, so we might just quickly go around the panel. Guys, just your anticipation or your thoughts or predictions just quickly for this year. How do you think it'll pan out?
I'm just super excited for it. And I know the young kids around the place, the kids at the Black Footy Club, for example, they're talking about the senior footy. Everyone's looking forward to it this year, and I just can't wait to call it with you blokes. It'll be a great experience, and get into it as soon as we can.
Well, we'd love to see the work that you brought. Grand final day, exceptional. You and 2 great legends, yourself and BJ Yates. It's just setting the bar, Tomo, so you got a hard thing to climb over that.
Tomo, what are some things that the viewers might learn about you this year, or that you'll bring to the table that they'll...
I think you'll bring that. You're a bit of a fashion plate. We look a bit out of place.
What will they enjoy?
So someone's going to bring you blokes up, you know what I mean? So, look, I'll be honest with you. What I look forward to watching with the game is I look at it from a player's perspective, and I also look at it as a coaching perspective. So I like watching team matchups, how each team will basically change to suit what the opposition's strengths are, but also seeing what clubs have got as their next move. So when you're a coach, you're going to have 3 or 4 game plans during that one game, and if the first one doesn't work, you've got to very quickly get onto your second, without shuffling your team too much. So for me, it's just going to be about game style, it's going to be about matchups, and again, just bouncing off these guys and good old JJ down the end. I think we're going to have a great time together, and we just want to bring some entertainment, some real life, and a bit of a laugh, and we should have a great time. Really looking forward to it.
Fantastic. Talking about that, man. JJ, what's on the books for you?
Tomo said, looking forward to this season, and looking forward to seeing how the new recruits go from the various sides, and also the new coaching appointments as well. I can't wait to see how they play out this season, and repeating what Tomo said, just really looking forward to working with his analysis, and it should be a great season, and again working with you two fine gentlemen. So it should be a fantastic HFL HFL season ahead. So,
of course, Benny, a new season means it's always full of anticipation. It's for new players, new coaches, and also teams to reproduce what they did last year. Of course, obviously 2 teams, Gamaraka and Harnoff will be trying to do that, but the others to improve. And a lot of expectation, as I said. In 5 days' time, the excitement's building.
Very much so. I agree with Tomo here. I'm keen to see Jimmy Richards in action from Sturt. He's got a lot of excitement. We've got a lot of exciting players in this league, like Jamie Drew, Fernand. Just
a few more Call of the Wild cult figures emerge.
They get right into it, and they enjoy the Call of the Wild, which is fantastic. And of course, the highlight is, of course, Jayden getting out in the field after the match and having a chat to the most effective player.
With a metro.
Take us through it.
With
a metro.
Yes, because... well, as we said, we have the snag of the day that you'll be handing in, but also, some of these for the most effective players. Don't know how too affected I'll be after a carton of these, but we'll see how it goes.
And you, Jeff, I've also got to say, very excited about the 2 cameras this year, with James and Hutto, so we'll be able to...
We have some decent headgear as well.
Yeah,
we'll be able to hear each other talk.
I'm excited about our production, the Samurai. It brings everything, because Tommy
he's the master.
Yeah, and be interested to see his production techniques. But once again, with the Call of the Wild, because we've got to thank, of course, Harcourts, Mount Barker, Ford, Lowe's Meat Co.
Buckets.
Print Wrap Pack, they do a good job. Here too, and Lancaster Property Services at this stage have come on to support us this year.
More in the pipeline.
Quite a lot more in the pipeline, but also the Hills League sponsors, because naming rights, Work Locker, Closey's, Courier, and Sports Power, of course, on board again to sponsor, arguably the best community country football competition going around. So
we're the largest, don't we?
So 5 sleeps to go, as I said. Well,
get
Friday night.
Get your match program.
I think 7 o'clock kick-off. Looking forward. Onkers, Nairne Bremer, bearing in mind, I don't think last time they played, Onkers scored a goal against Balona.
Well,
sorry.
Clunny is going to be frothing on that.
Is he really?
They've got
use as a bit of motivation.
They've recruited. They've done some really good work in the pre-season on, because I think they could be, I'm not going to say that out loud, dark horse, but they could be a little bit dark horse.
Mick Coccioloni and Jake Hadcock. Jayden did a piece on them for the career on Wednesday.
Yeah,
so,
fantastic.
Yeah, Clunny's quality. He's a quality coach. I really think, expect them to go straight away.
I'll tell you what, they do unfortunately possess the longest drought of premierships in Division 1, 1994, so I'll be looking to break that. So Cluny will be looking forward to set off a new season, new campaign, a new era for the Dogs with a win over the last 2 years grand finalists.
I'm in agreement with Jayden here. If we're going to look at country, I reckon Mackie could this be the year.
Mackie, the Bloods.
Well,
speaking of droughts, 1980 for them.
1980.
So
wow.
Bloods, that'd be fantastic. Imagine that, Benny. You're a Mackie man, that'd be just going off, wouldn't it?
Yeah. You what do you reckon, Jayden? Mackie, you get a good feel?
Yeah, I think they'll be ones to watch this season as well, along with, I think, Meadows, Kangarilla and all those sorts of teams as well. And interested to see how Gumracka's going to go as well, like we spoke about before. So, yeah, Macclesfield will be interesting to see how they go this season.
And all the best to Jack Parker, who's sole captain this year at Gumracka, and they've had a bit of testing, challenging period there at the Northern Magpies, but went out there last week, and Ian Carpenter was out there with all the players, and they were putting them
unusual, Carpy.
Loves it. All those volunteers, thanks again for your work this year.
Yeah, fantastic. Well, as you can see, we're pumped. There's plenty of interest in the wings, and sort of, as I said, Friday night, it all unleashes itself for another season, the 202025 Hills.
Just finally, James, Tommy, come around here.
We need the faceless men. We're going to see you. We might see you for the rest of the year, but because you always hide from the camera, shy. But there you are, the whole team. Looking forward to the Call of the Wild team, plus Hutto, so we're looking forward to seeing you from Friday night, bringing you the Hills Football League for 2025. Catch you there, and till then, keep chasing your goals.
Hills Footy Ride.